Hi guys, welcome back to PSD to HTML for designers. I'm Adi, and in this lesson we'll create a sprites image. Now, if you're not familiar with CSS sprites, a sprite image is basically a bigger image which contains any number of smaller images. So if, for example, you would have a list which would show on each list item a different image, instead of saving all those images individually, you would save them in one file and then show them as background images and positioning them accordingly, of course. There are many benefits of using CSS sprites. You can save web space, you can improve your website's performance, right? Because the load time is smaller. You have a smaller number of HTTP requests, and that means your website will load faster, of course. All right, so we'll do in our CSS sprites file, we'll put all of our icons, like the phone envelope, the right icon, and some of the other bigger icons and navigation buttons. All right, so let's start by creating a new file. Let's make it 500 by 500. All right. And I'm going to create a new layer and save it in images, sprites, PSD. Okay. Now, when using CSS sprites, many people prefer to align their images something like this. So let's grab these two icons to start with. All right. Let's zoom in. All right. So many people would prefer to do this. Just align the images one after another so they get a much smaller file. Personally, I prefer to do it a different way because it just looks more organized. And the way I do it is I show the grid on the page, and I set the grid to a specific size. So if I go to Photoshop Preferences, Guides, Grid and Slices, yeah, it's gonna open up a window and it says grid line every 128 pixels. In my case, I know that the biggest image that's gonna be included is 42 pixels. So we cannot go lower than 42. In my case, I'll go with 64 pixels. Okay. And I chose 64 because, you know, it's much easier to make your calculations in CSS later when you're setting background positions than, you know, putting the images right next to each other. So for instance, this second image will have an X position of minus 64 pixels because I know my grid is 64 pixels. So I hope that makes sense. If not, hit me up with some comments. I'll do my best to explain. So let's grab some more images. Okay, we'll grab this arrow. Okay, and as you can see, I'm using the actual layers instead of images because I want to be able to edit the CSS sprites later. Okay, something like that. You can also perfectly align it by making a selection like this. Okay. Let's see what else. All right. Excuse me. Let's bring the big icons. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to choose this and that. Okay. So let's actually group these, call them big icons. We'll group the other ones, call them small icons. Get rid of this. Okay, and big icons, let's put them right here. Okay. Something like that. And this is the books icon. And finally, the settings icon. We'll align it perfectly with our grid. Okay. Next, let's see, these are the same icons. We already exported the logos. Okay, so next we need the these two, right? The left and right navigation. Being buttons, we must do two versions of them, the normal one and the hover version. So let's go ahead and duplicate this, left and right, duplicate them in sprites. Okay, I'm gonna group them as navigation. Okay, we'll put them right here. Okay, so that should be left, should be there. This is right. Okay, let's rename these. Right normal, left normal. Okay. And now I'm going to duplicate them to create the hover versions. So let's grab the color that will be used for that. In my case, it's this color right here. Let me just open up Color Snapper. Okay, something like that. Okay, rename these, right hover, left hover. Okay, something like that. And like that. Okay, so that's it for the navigation items. Next, we must get the social media icons. Okay, so I'm gonna grab all of them, actually the whole folder, social icons. Okay. And we'll place them right there. Okay, let's make a quick selection so we can align everything with the grid. Okay, so now we'll take Facebook and move it right there. We'll do the same with Google Plus and with LinkedIn. All right, Perfect. Now we can also do like hover states for these icons, but really it's no point. The same logic applies as with the navigation items. All right, and I think that's all. Yeah, that's all the images that we need in our sprites file. All right, so we'll go ahead and go to image, canvas size. We'll resize this to 256 by 256. We'll set the anchor to top left. So the resize will be made from the opposite corner. Click OK. And that's our sprites file. Okay, here it is without the grid. And you know, it just looks more organized. That's the reason why I use it with a grid. All right, so we'll hide the background because we need the sprites file to be transparent, and we'll just export it as a PNG in images sprites.png. All right, and that's it, guys. We'll create another sprites file later on in a future lesson, double the size. That's gonna be designed especially for Retina screens. Okay, well, that's it for this video. In the next lesson, we'll begin styling our layout, and we'll begin by setting up some general styles, including a reset file and including the bootstrap grid. Well, in the meantime, thank you for watching, guys. I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.